ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀਓ ਸਤਨਾਮ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀਓ। ਸ਼ਲੋਕ ਮਨ ਇੱਛਾ ਦਾਨ ਕਰਣੰ ਸਰਬਤਰ ਆਸਾ ਪੂਰਨ ਖੰਡਣੰ ਕਲ ਕਲੇਸ਼ ਪ੍ਰਭ ਸਿਮਰ ਨਾਨਕ ਨਹਿ ਦੂਰਣ ਹਬ ਰੰਗ ਮਨ ਹੈ ਜਿਸ ਸੰਗ ਤੈ ਸਿਓ ਲਾਈਐ ਨੇਹ ਸੋ ਸ਼ੋਭਿੰਦ ਨਾ ਵਿਸਰੋ ਨਾਨਕ ਜਿਨ ਸੁੰਦਰ ਰਚਿਆ ਦੇਹੁ। ਪੌੜੀ ਜਿਉ ਪ੍ਰਾਨ ਤਨ ਧਨ ਦੀਆ ਦੀਨੇ ਰਸ ਭੋਗ ਗ੍ਰਹਿ ਮੰਦਰ ਰਥ ਅਸ ਦੀਏ ਰਚ ਭਲੇ ਸੰਜੋ ਸੁਤ ਬਨਿਤਾ ਸਾਜਨ ਸੇਵਕ ਦੀਏ ਪ੍ਰਭ ਦੇਵਨ ਜੋਗ ਹਰ ਸਿਮਰਤ ਤਨ ਮਨ ਹਰਿਆ ਲਹਿ ਜਾਹੇ ਵਿਜੋਗ ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗ ਹਰ ਗੁਣ ਰਮਹੋ ਬਿਨਸੇ ਸਭ ਰੋਗ ਹਰ ਸਿਮਰਤ ਤਨ ਮਨ ਹਰਿਆ ਲਹਿ ਜਾਹੇ ਵਿਜੋਗ ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗ ਹਰ ਗੁਣ ਰਮਹੋ ਬਿਨਸੇ ਸਭ ਰੋਗ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀ, today's ਪਾਵਨ ਪਵਿੱਤਰ ਹੁਕਮਨਾਮਾ ਸਾਹਿਬ from Sachkhand Sri Harmandir Sahib is on Ang 706, blessed to us by Dhan Dhan Sri Guru Arjun Dev Ji Sache Paatshah. This is today's Hukamnama Sahib from Sachkhand Sri Harmandir Sahib. What is Guru Arjun Dev Ji Paat Ji saying to us today? Let us embrace these words. What does it mean to embrace these words? Let's bring these words into our life. Let's give these words a form in our lives. So let us listen to Guru Arjun Dev Ji Paatshah. Salok man ichha, man, my mind, ichha, Sangji plural, referring to desires. The desires of my mind, man ichha daan karanang. Guru Arjan Dev Ji Paat Ji saying that Vaheguru Ji is that. Vaheguru Ji meaning God. That one that is immersed in everything. That one that is the source of creation, the source of life. That one, man ichha daan karanang. Daan Sangji means gift. That one is the one that gifts all my desires. The desires within my mind. Sarbatar asa purana. And then Guru Paatshah Ji say in Sarbatar, they say that Sarbatar means all. Sarbatar asa, asa, Sangadji plural again, meaning hopes. Saying Sarbatar asa purana. You are the one, Vaheguru Ji, that fulfills all my hopes as well. Sangadji, there's one thing. There's desire and then there's hope. There's two different things. And often we use these words interchangeably, not really knowing the difference between them But ek there's a desire. Desire is that want from inside. The want for something. And then the hope is what we expect from it. That when we obtain that desire, we hope that it gives us this. We hope that it gives us that. Whether it be somebody buys just, I don't know, anything random. Somebody buys a new bed. That desire was there initially to buy the new bed. And then there's a hope there that that bed is going to serve them and give them a certain level of comfort. Or if somebody's got an issue with their back, they bought a particular type of bed. So the desire was that the energy there that gave them that drive to go and get that. And then there's the hope that it's going to heal their back. Sangat ji, so these two things just for the Sangat, just a quick little information for the Sangat, just to be able to understand that. But this is here about focusing on Vaheguru Ji themselves, saying that you are the one that gifts us with our desires, the one that fulfills our hopes. And then Guru Arjun Dev Ji Paat Ji say, Khandanang, hey Vaheguru Ji, you are the one that Khandanang means destroys. Khandanang what? Kal Kalesha. Sangat Ji, Kal. Kal, you could translate that to that darkness, the doubts all within our mind. That Kalesha. Kalesha means that when we get into that turmoil from inside, that argumentative, that when we're in doubt, and there's one thing when we actually get into this Kalesh with somebody else, when we argue and clash with somebody else, but then there's that. When we're experiencing pain within our mind, why is that pain there? Because we, in our own mind, have fallen into Kalesh. Kalesh meaning that our own mind is clashing with thoughts, in doubts. 1 minute it's thinking this one, the next minute it's thinking that. This constant battle going on inside of our minds, jumping from one thing to the other. But you are that one, Vaheguru Ji, that destroys that Kalesh that is inside of me, that pain and suffering that is going on inside of my mind. Something, Sangat Ji, I just shared today was that there's pain and then there's suffering. We've got to remember that it's not necessary that we suffer our pain. Sangat Ji, pain could be something physical. Someone could be in pain because they've hurt their hand. They've had an accident and they've hurt their hand. Their hand is cut or whatever's happened to it, it broke a bone. And you're in pain. But Sangat Ji, suffering means when you allow that pain to affect your mind and you keep dwelling on that pain. When you cannot accept that pain to say, you keep saying, why? This shouldn't have happened to me. Ek ye ho gaya. I can't believe I'm going through this. This has ruined my life. I can't now do this. I can't do that. That is suffering your pain. We don't have to suffer our pain, Sangat Ji. That here Paatshah Ji is saying, your suffering has been destroyed by that one. But how? How has it been destroyed? By Prab Simar, by Sangat Ji, by Prab Simar, by remembering that one. Is it as simple as that? Sangat Ji, when we remember that one with appreciation, Nanak, then what happens? Sangat Ji, Guru Arjan Dev Ji Paatshah Ji reminds us something very important, reminds us that Vaheguru Ji is not far from us. Even though many of times in our lives, what happens is that Pekhat Sunat Sada Ha Sange Main Murkh Janya Duri Re. Paatshah Ji say, Pekhat, the one that is seeing us. Sunat, the one that is listening to us. The one that is constantly Sada Ha Sange is with us. मैं मूर्ख, this fool, मैं मूर्ख जानिया दूरी रे. I ended up thinking of that one to be so far from me. Sangat ji, why did I say that this is so important for us to know this? And the reason for that is because Sangat ji, neh dooran hai. Have you ever heard the saying, be careful of what you wish for? Because the truth is that you know what Baji says, that man ichha daan karanang, that one gifts us with the desires of our mind. Be careful what you wish for, because that is the law of nature of Vaheguru Ji's creation, that what our deep inner desires are, that one starts to work towards them. And the law and the nature is that this universe starts working towards providing us with our deep inner desires. So that's why be careful what you wish for. It's not just a random saying. It's even true accordingly to what the Guru is revealing to us about the law of Vaheguru Ji's creation. Sangat Jiyo, Neh that one isn't far. If you think that you've got this deep inner desire and it's not being heard, then that's not true. Then you are wrong. Because that one is so close. It's me, this fool, that may have thought that one is far, but no, that one is listening to even our inner little voice that is there, sitting there desiring whatever it's desiring. That one is so close. So yes, be careful. What is it that your inside is actually desiring? But Pachaji is saying here that look at this. That you now just contemplate this, that what you thought that was impossible, what you thought from inside, one day you thought, could it ever happen? Will it happen? And it happened. And it was there before you. Whether it happened quickly, whether it took time, but what was there inside, and that could be negative or positive. That could be a negative thought you had and you brought that close to you. That could have been a positive inner desire and you brought that close to you. Sometimes we've got inner fears inside, and when we look deeper inside of ourselves, and what is it that is really there that is bringing things to us, and then we think, Akiya, how did I end up with this situation in my life? Look inside. Ask yourself that question. How did I bring this to me? But here Pachaji is saying that remember that one that is so close to you, that actually fulfills your hopes and gifts you your desires. Sangat Ji, when we start to realize that one is so close and is so abundant, is so beautiful, because of that one, Sangat Ji, this is called Shukrana Bhakti. This is, sometimes we don't know how to actually form that gratitude inside of us. People say be more, you should appreciate more, you should be more thankful, you should live in more gratitude, you should show more gratitude. But how do you even do that? Satguru Ji Pachaji say to us, kende hab rang maan hai. All the rang, all the pleasures that you get to maan hai, enjoy, experience. Anything that gives you pleasure. You eat something, the pleasure that you experience from it. You go for a walk. It's a beautiful, the weather is beautiful, the sun shining on you. And there's a beautiful breeze as well. That what you get to experience. The pleasure that you are reaping from that you are experiencing from that. Sangat Ji, hab rang maan hai. Whatever that may be, in whichever form that may be, the pleasure that you get from hugging your child, the pleasure that you experience from putting your head in your mother's lap, even if you're 40 years old. Hab rang man hai. All, any pleasure that you experience, hab rang man hai. Jis sangta, because of who is there with you, inside of you, that makes it possible for you to have that experience of that pleasure, to experience that pleasure, to enjoy that pleasure. Hab rang man hai jis sangta syo laye ne ho. Path Ji saying, fall in love with that one. Have love for that one. Sangat Ji, this is how you bring gratitude inside of you. When you start to think of every experience of your life that has brought juice into your life. Because remember, Sangat Ji, there's an emotion that comes from a thought. The emotion, you could describe it to be the juice of that thought. But who made it possible to experience that pleasure? Satguru Ji Pachi say to us in Sri Sukhmani Sahib Bani. You know, gratitude is so powerful that sometimes we ask these questions, we say that Kam, Krodh, Ar, Kam, Krodh, Ar, Lobh, Moh, Bin Sajai, Ahmev. They're saying, how can I get rid of my Kam, my lustful ways? How can I get rid of my Krodh, my anger? How can I get rid of greed? How can I get rid of my attachment? People ask these questions all the time. And today, Sangat Ji, this morning when I read these words of Guru Arjun Dev Ji Padshah, and I thought, oh, wow. I thought, Vah Sache Padshah. I've read these words so many times, but never until today did I see them in this light. That Kam, Krodh, Ar, Lobh, Moh, Kam, anger, Lobh, greed, attachment, Bin Sajaye, but these can be destroyed. Binas, Ahamev, my ego, Ahamev, Sangat Ji, my pride, my arrogance. Nanak Prabh Sharanagati, they give us the answer, but I still didn't quite get it before. Can then Guru Arjan Dev Ji Pendik Nanak Prabh Sharanagati, can they come into the sanctuary of Vaheguru Ji, Kar Prasad Gurudev, and our Guru, the enlightener Gurudev, Kar Prasad Gurudev will shower us with his grace. And I thought, how? Okay, what does it mean to go into God's sanctuary? What does it mean to remember that one? And then it was the Ashtapadi that was the answer. And then Guru Arjan Dev Ji Path Ji, they said that Jai Prasad Chatti Amrit Khaye. This is how you form gratitude in your life. If you can't think of how, you actually pick things then. This is, if you don't have to remember Vaheguru, then you pick things externally. The food that you get to eat today, Sangat Ji, make that today. If you haven't had breakfast yet, then during your breakfast, whenever you have dinner, depending on what part of the world you are in, if you're going to have dinner, if you're going to have lunch, that food that you have sitting in front of you today, Jai Prasad, with the grace of the Chatti Amrit Khaye, you're going to get to eat this food that is filled with different delicacies. The soul in there, the sweetness in there, whatever it is that you can taste within that food. And when you then experience when you experience pleasure, you enjoy it. The pleasure that you experience from eating that food. Jai Prasad, you know that you experiencing pleasure is no small thing. Vismad Pokh, Vismad Pog. Guru Nanak Dev Ji Path Ji say to us in Sri As Akibar, Kende Vismad Pokh, Vismad Pog. Path Ji say to us, Kende, I am in awe of you giving us hunger. I am in awe this that you have given us Pog to be able to enjoy something. Sangat Ji, when you read Gurbani like this, it will take you to another planet. It will take you to another world. Jai Prasad Chatti Amrit Khaye Tis Thakur Ko Rakhman. This is, you don't have to remember Vaheguru. remember, Vaheguru, if you've enjoyed something, if you've just experienced this immense amount of pleasure from the delicacies of that food, you remember, Sangat Ji, your heart fills with gratitude when you know that you have not got the ability yourself to formulate and create pleasure, but Vaheguru Ji is the one that is behind giving you pleasure. When you realize that, and some of you might think, well, I can do this act and I'll feel, I know guaranteed I'll experience pleasure from it. I'll enjoy it. I'll get pleasure from it. That's not true. Sangat Ji, somebody personally that has experienced depression where I became emotionless and lost ability to feel pleasure because the inside was experiencing so much fear and was living in anxiety, which what had been taken up, my body had been taken over by hugging my own child. There was no pleasure because there was only fear. Pleasure is a gift. Pleasure is a gift. When your heart starts to fill with gratitude and you start to Prabh Simar, remember Vaheguru Ji through that food, because He is the one that has provided you with the pleasure of experiencing pleasure through those delicacies, through those tastes, sweetness, those flavors. And that's why Bhatt Ji said, Jai Prasad Rangaras Bhog, with the grace of that one you get to Rangaras Bhog, you get to enjoy the juice, the pleasure, Rang Bhog, and enjoy these different things in life. Sangat Ji, when you start living like this, when you're in gratitude every moment of your life for different things from inside, Sangat Ji, it's proven scientifically that there's neurotransmitters within our brain that what's being released at that moment, what chemicals are being released? Serotonin, dopamine. What do these chemicals do for us? They allow us to experience happiness, to feel happy from within. That's the power of gratitude. Gurbani is showing us how to. It can be done through food. It can be done through when you're having a shower, through everything, through breathing. Well, it could be done through anything. In that way, Kam, Krodh, your anger starts to leave you. Greed starts to leave you because you're in a different place from within now. Sangat Ji, coming back to the Shabad itself, Bhatt Ji here is saying that Hab Rang Mane Jis Sangta Syo Laye Nehu, falling in love with that one in that way, remembering that one in that way, filling your heart with gratitude in that way, you see how anger leaves you in your life. You see how attachment will run away from you. So Shohobindana Visaron, Bhatt is saying that Shoh, that husband, Lord of mine, can they bend not even for an instant, Visaron, that I forget that one. So Shohobindana Visaron, Nanak Jin Sundara Rachya Deho, the one that has created such a beautiful day, such a beautiful body, that I don't forget that one even for an instant. Pauri Jio, the one that has given me life, Pran, the one that has given me breath, Tan, the one that has given me this body, Tan, the one that has given me my wealth, Diya, given me all of these things, the Dine Rasapog has given me, Dine, the ability to experience rasa, to experience pleasure, to experience Bhog, to enjoy these different things. Grah Mandir, what has that one given me? Grah has given me houses, given me this house to live in. Mandir, given me mansions. Rath, chariots, meaning us, horses, the vehicles, the cars that we drive today. Diye, the one that has given us all of this. Rajpale Sanjog. Sangat ji, rach phale sanjog. That it's by good fortune that we have been given these different things in our lives. Sut banita, sut our children banita, our partners, Sajan, our friends, Sevak, those that serve us, Diye, you are the one that provide us with all of this. Prabh Devan Jog. Sangat ji, just a list. You can pick. You may not be able to relate to all of these, but just to show you there's so many things that you can actually utilize to remember that one. You can actually use to well up this gratitude inside of you that will give you an experience of happiness, because it actually releases those chemicals. But Sangaji, you will realize that happiness is inside. You will get to a point in your life where you realize you do not actually need anything external to be in gratitude. You could just go you can go inside of yourself eventually, when you have then built your mind to be that way without then even having to look at anything. You're just in gratitude from inside, and then without needing anything to light up that gratitude inside, you're constantly releasing those chemicals. You're experiencing just happiness from within for no reason now. You haven't even got a reason externally to feel that. You are just in that now. But these are all a list of things that you can use to get to that place. But Prabh Devan Jog, Vaheguru is the only one that has the ability to give us all these things. Har Simrat Tan Man Harya. When I'm in the remembrance of Vaheguru Ji in that way, what will happen? My body, my mind will be constantly Harya, green, rejuvenating state all the time. Something's constant, new, fresh. Leh Jahib Jog, all my sorrows will be taken away from me. Sat Sang Har Gun Rabho Bin Se Sabrog. When we go in the company of the holy, those that actually live their lives like this, Har Gun Ramaho, when they are constantly immersed in the praise of that one and always looking at the qualities of that one, Bin Se Sabrog, all our diseases will be taken away when we start to live like that. Sangat Jiyo. Greeb Nawaz Sache Paatshah Ji Kirpa Karan, that they bless us with that ability to be able to see these gifts as a gift of that one. Gaave ko taan, hove kise taan, gaave ko daat, jane nisaan. When we start to see that one, that all these gifts of yours are a sign of you. If you hug your child today as you send them off to school, as you hug your child today when they come back from school, see that as a gift from that one. And when you enjoy it, because you experience pleasure from that hug, thank Vaheguru. From inside say Vaheguru. Remember that one in gratitude, and you'll be filled with happiness from inside. Vah. Vah. That's all left to say in the end. Vah. Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji ki Fateh. Vaheguru, 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 Vaheguru.